This Ford Fusion hybrid looks perfectly repaired after an accident, but the adaptive cruise control stopped working completely, and the collision warning system was disabled. The previous repair shop could not fix it. Today, I'm going to diagnose it from scratch and show you the exact hidden problem that brought this system to life. So stay tuned. All right, so let me show you inside the car. Then turn on the car. Let's see what I'm seeing, so you know what I mean by that. Okay. So as you can see, this is just says, seat belt, and that's normal. See, collision warning not available, and this stays in. So there's no check engine, no problem. Everything is good except the collision warning. So we need to fix this. First thing I'm gonna do, I will just scan it with my Launch Pad V, and then to see if I have code or something, we'll start from there. All right, I scanned it. I have ABS, PCCM, PDM. So I have to open each of them, see where they are. From the ABS, it says missing communication with cruise control, which is U0104. Okay, this is actually good clue. It says cruise control. That's one. Let's see what's IPC. The IPC, which is Instrument Panel Control Module. Okay, let's see what's missing. Missing communication with, again, Cruise Control Module. That's good. It's U0104. All right. What's this one? Invalid data received from anti-lock brake system ABS control module. Battery voltage. Okay. Not much relevant. PDM. What's PDM? Right meter heater output. Not relevant. What's GFM? Missing communication with accessory protocol interface module. Kinda. PCM, power control module. This is very important. Missing communication with cruise control module. Why? That gives us a big clue. U0104. Okay, guys. Like all the codes takes us back to cruise control module. Cruise control module, which is the radar, should be in front of the car. That gives me two things. Before this scanning, I was actually thinking to take a different approach. Now, let me tell you how I interpret it. So, for example, this radar on the bracket, even if it's misaligned a little bit, the pre-collision warning will appear. However, it doesn't give you communication issue because the car still communicate with the radar, but it needs calibration and programming. Now that it says missing communication, that means the radar is completely not connected to the car. Either it's not plugged, or the wire is cut, or there's a short, or it's broken. But that actually take us closer to the problem, because I had to go to the so many different things. Now I know it's control module. So now what I'm gonna do, I will do some research and go to the diagram, see if this module has its dedicated fuse or relay. If it does, I will check the fuse and relays. If it doesn't, then I have to see if I can reach out to the radar to check the wiring. If not, I have to remove the front bumper. All right, so I came to the fuses. I'm looking at this and then getting the diagram. It looks like there's a big confusion because this is hybrid. It looks like what means for this, it means something else for non-hybrid. But so far what I found, I have not found any blown fuses, but some fuses being carbonated. Do you see? This is not clean. So I cleaned it a little bit just to see what happens, but I'll clean it further. Same here. This was not clean. I put some dioxide cleaner. So I will see if this makes any changes. And if this fixes it, I will give you the reference fuses. All right, so fuses from here, this one and this one, they're both 5, and they're blown, and they're blown and corroded so bad. So these fuses are so small, like the standard one is bigger than them, but I don't have the small one. It looks like the big one actually works better as long as it's the same. So I got this 5, and see how I put it there. So just put it there and then push it. It will go to, 1 second, see? Let me show you. And then push it. Okay, it's right there. You see that? Let's see if it works. Okay. So this one is the big one as well. Yeah. This one is positive. Okay. We fixed this fuse at least for whatever it is. Now it works. Yeah, I just want to show you this, not because of if this fixes it or not. I just want to show you that if you need these small fuses for 4, just get a normal fuse and then put it there, push it, it will sit, no problem. And actually it makes a better contact too, I find it. All right, so I fixed all the fuses that needs to be fixed. I replaced them, but that didn't do anything for us, at least for our case. So now I'm gonna go to check the passenger compartment fuse, which is under the driver's side, to see. I think there's one fuse is also have communication with cruise control. If that's not the case, then we move to the next step. All right, I checked the fuses under the dash. They're all good. At least the ones that there was 2 that I thought it had it's responsible for the cruise control. They're both fine. But also, if you wonder where's the fuse located, the place, it's pain. It's not easy, I'm gonna be honest with you, because you have to lay on this and then put your head under the dash, unless you open the whole thing, which I don't know about you, I can do that. So see, these are the fuses, okay? The fuse 22 and fuse 10 are responsible, one of them responsible for that, and they're both good. All right, I left it one side of the car. I put the jack stand as well. So before I remove the bumper, I'm removing this shield to see if this exposes the radar so I can work with. If not, I have to remove the front bumper as well. So in order to remove this, these holes has torque bit T27, and then these bolts are 7 mil, okay? 7. So I removed the under shield, which is this one. I removed all the torque and 7 mil bolts. Now I see this, let me show you clearly. This is the active shutter, which you can see it here too, like, touches from here too. So if you come to the end of active shutter, here's our problem, the radar. So see, now I can do this. I don't know if you can see it here, but clearly it's right here. Do you see that? And I already see a problem. Here's the connector. Let me see if you can see a little bit. I don't know, I feel that this is corrosion. Do you see that? I see corrosion. So what we can do, basically unplug it and then check the connector, because I can feel there's some green corrosion and looks like there's a friction between this. See, when I move this is cutting it, even though this is plastic, but with the salt and stuff, I think it's corroded. Okay, so for the connection, You see there's a this tab, the end. You push this and then you take the whole connector out. I'm gonna get it out. Found the problem. As I told you, I took the connector off. Let me show you what happened. Do you see that clearly? Two wires are snipped. All right, so I got it out so I can show you better. So two wires has been cut. So I cleaned both of them. I got the flathead screwdriver. You can open this. Let's see if we can open it. Okay, now we got this out here. Yeah, do you see it has 4 teeth? You basically have to bend this and then get this out one by one. Okay, so I got the red part out. And then I got this rubbery part out on the top. And now it's unlocked. You can see now, you can see the pin. Then from top, you can just get them out. It has little teeth, so you have to bend them to get them out, but it's not hard since it's been unlocked. When it's open, it's easier to work with. All right, so I took the pin out, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it, but before I go buy another harness, I will give it a try. I will use the solder to solder it back. I will give it a try. Let's see what it is to make it, and it's not gonna be cheap fix, because if I solder it, everything goes back. But if it's hard to solder, then I will get the replacement and change it. So I soldered this tight. Okay. I'm gonna put this back in here. I will get the other one and do it. I did one by one just to make sure that I don't mix them. I know where this goes back. And that's the second one I fixed. The other one, I put a liquid tape because it's tight and it's easy to contact. This one, I'm gonna put some very, very thin tape on it. Whatever you're gonna put on it, as long as they don't touch. To update you, I put the red part back in. I put this back. It doesn't sit all the way because I put some tape and things like that, but that's the best I can do. Now I'll cover it up. Also to show you, I covered it up really well, just in case if it works, so it would be permanent. Okay, I'll put it back. It's all the way seated. It's seated, but I mean, there's another small risk I want to point out. So when I took the pin out, I used a needle, screwdriver. What do you call this? This one, let me show you. So there's a chance that you may widen the hole. So when you put it back, it may not detect it well, but we'll find out. Before I reset it with a scanner, let's turn on, see what's happening. Now it's on. Okay. Normally, after that, it will tell us. Okay, this time did not say anything. Let's turn it off. Open the door. Opening, closing. This time I'm gonna turn on the car. Now the car is on. Ready to drive. Close hood because the hood is open. Close fuel door. I think I accidentally opened it. Okay. Door ajar. And voila, we are done. Okay, just for the sake of this video, let's delete the codes as well. Trace the problem until you find it. See, now we have codes because we have not reset it. We will get one code here as well. There, yes. So now we should be able to delete all the codes. Let me turn off the car, just opening the ignition. Now this way, like before this fix, when I resetting everything, this was remaining the IPC. Let's see now. Now clearing it. Let's see if everything goes away. That's it. Well guys, if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead, subscribe to my video and like and comment. I post videos like that every week. Thank you for your support.